heart, I've got this everlasting light. It's shining like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm living for. Deep inside my heart, I've got this everlasting light. It's shining like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm living for. Deep inside my heart, I've got this everlasting light. It's shining like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm living for.
Good morning and welcome, everybody. Oh, I know you're there. Aloha. All right. My name is Michelle LeMay, and I am one of the Board of Trustees. I'm also part of the Malama team, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things that we've got going on this week, which we do. And as you find your seats, you have received a program when you arrived, and everything that I share is also on the back in regards to timing, if there's pricing, other activities happening on a regular. But this Wednesday, we have our monthly spiritual living circle that Anna Myers does up in Princeville. So that's Wednesdays at 3. And what they do is they choose an article out of the Science of Mind magazine, which we do have some in the bookstore. And this one's really, they're always good, but this one's really great because there's a fabulous article about Ernest Holmes, the founder. And they take an article and circle up and just share about that. So it's another way to learn about the philosophy and then put it right to work in your life. So that's going to be Wednesdays at 3, and the information for that and for Anna is on your program. And then we have our monthly, the last Friday of every month, we do a spiritual cinema. So this month is The Truth is in the Stars. So it's a great documentary with William Shatner, and it's actually talking about how the Star Trek movies actually influenced real life science and outer space and everything that they do now with all that. What would you say? Aeronomics? I don't even know. Physics, astrophysics, all really big words I don't know about, but I do know William Shatner. So
you can say anything you want, Michelle.
Yeah,
You've got the mic.
I'll look good, yeah. I'll just giggle and everybody will think it's good. So that starts at 6:30, and we do gather up for those who would like to stay and share about your insights, your thoughts about the movie. So sometimes they're movies. This time it happens to be a documentary that's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be led by Robin Roseanne Jones. And of course, there's always popcorn. Absolutely. And then we have an information table out back. Feel free we invite you to check it out after. We've got flyers for the different events. We also have it's a taste of theater for teens that the Revs are wanting to do. So we have some small flyers. If you know teenagers in your life, or you have friends that have teenagers, or you have grandkids that are teenagers, we're looking for teenagers. And we're looking for teenagers who'd like to be part of a theater program that's going to be starting in October that Reverends Rita and Patrick are going to be facilitating. And they actually have a theatrical background. You may not know that if you're new or just visiting, but they're going to be putting those skills and working with teens. Now, the teens don't have to be a part of CSL, so it's anybody in the community within CSL as well, but it doesn't have to be. It's just any teens who are wanting to have a theatrical program. So please spread that out because we need teens for it to happen, and it's going to be starting in a couple of weeks. Well, thank you for your kind attention. It's a short week this week, and I pass it over to Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick.
Hello. Aloha, everyone.
Oh, aloha.
You're looking rather good today. I just want to take a look at you.
Yeah, you
you're
look
looking
great.
good.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all look great, right? I feel that. We'd like to take the first part of our service to light our peace candle. which Patrick is going to get. But before we do that, I want to read something because if you're here for the first time, or if you're not that familiar with our teaching or Centers for Spiritual Living, it's a global community and a global philosophy. There's Centers for Spiritual Living all over the world, and our spiritual leader on the global level is Dr. Ken Gordon, and he, whenever there's something happening in the world, he always writes something about it and encourages us and challenges us to think higher. So I wanted to read you some of what he wrote because I thought it was very appropriate, because we know a lot is, before we light this candle, because we know a lot is going in the world around in the world right now, out there, and we talk about it here on Sundays sometimes, but it's about taking it to a higher perspective. So take a deep breath, and I'm just going to read this to you. Earthquakes, fires, and floods are affecting people around the globe. As Mexico digs out of the second earthquake this month, Centers for Spiritual Living stands in prayerful support to the people of Mexico, as well as our community members and centers affected there. Every time we are faced with a global or natural crisis, we have the opportunity to hear the call of love and life. In these times of political divisiveness, closing borders and social violence, whether between nations or within our country, when disaster strikes, we are all affected. Let us once again take this as an opportunity to affirm our oneness as a human family. Let us declare our commitment to love and support one another. We allow our common humanity to reach across the divides as we find powerful and creative ways to help those in harm's way. Let us also take this as an opportunity to recognize that we are part of one whole living system. We share this world with all living beings, and we include our planet and all beings on it as part of this precious oneness. In the same way, we can destroy our environment, have a negative impact on our forests and our seas, and create climate change. But we can also affirm that we are capable of creating a healthy, sustainable life on planet Earth. Today, Centers for Spiritual Living calls every one of us to see beyond our own lives and the relationship to the whole, and become more aware of the interconnectedness of all life. We are called to reach out, not close down. We are called to love, not separate. We are called to action, not complacency. We live like the butterfly effect. We realize that what happens anywhere around the globe affects all of us. Spirit's wisdom, God's intelligence, and the will of life to love guides every one of us to reach out, helping, prayerful hands to our neighbors and our planet. So, yeah, amen. So we're being called to love more. So let's just take a moment to center in our center of peace, our center of love that's always there, our center that's connected to everything and everyone. We are a center of love. We are a center of peace. And let's take a moment of silence to send that out, that idea out into the universe, and our love out. And I know that it is felt. And so it is. You look beautiful. Thank you for taking that moment together. And I know it does make a difference. So let's just center ourselves right here and right now in this moment, because we live moment by moment by moment. And we thank you for coming here today. You're in a Center for Spiritual Living, where we believe, as I said, in the connectedness of all life, in the idea that as we think, so it is, And so it's all about raising our consciousness for ourselves, beginning with ourselves, knowing that as we do that, we raise the consciousness of this planet. It has to be, because we're all one, and we're all living in one power and one light and one mind. So I know we're reaching the tipping point, and that all is healed.
And this lovely light being over here is Maria, who every week gives us her gift and her gift of music. So just wanted to let you know who. And if you just walked in, this is Reverend Rita. I am Reverend Patrick, and you are Otto. Oh, so it's good to see all of you. Now, who is here for the very first time? Just raise your hand and say, welcome, 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 welcome. Yes. Well, we know a little something about you, and we always share it each week. It's not long, but it is personal, if you guys don't mind sharing that with you. She goes, yes, actually, I do. No, but let us just let you know exactly what we know about you. Ready? You are magnificent. Did you know that? Absolutely. Good. And you have such a beautiful look of relief, like, oh, that was it? Oh, that's what they know about me. And we know that about you because we know that about ourselves, do we not? It always starts just like peace starts right here, so does this idea of magnificence. So when we know that about ourselves, you're our mirror. We get to see you. So please, just, pardon me? Oh, that's lovely. Well, let's not call all the attention to them. It might be a little odd for them. Come on in, come on in. So we just wanted to let you know something since you did just walk in, that we would like to tell you something, so let's do it again, shall we? So as you're finding your seat, let's tell them, you are magnificent. Ta-da! There we go. Okay, that's it. We'll let them know how magnificent they are as we go through this. So we know that about you because we know it about ourselves. So shall we all say it together? I am magnificent. And there is this camera staring down at us. It's called live streaming. So if you were going to be here and you didn't want anybody to know, too late. No, because this is what we do every week. We allow this beautiful community, this Ohana, to go out on the mainland, or people that just didn't really want to leave their house today and just going to have a little coffee and sit at home and do it. But we need to let them know who they are too. Are you ready? You are magnificent. Oh, boy, all that magnificent, we can go home now. So all I know is that I think we should either look to the left, to the right, somewhere in the room and let somebody know that they're magnificent, especially the ones that just walked in. You're magnificent. You're magnificent. You're magnificent. Harry's magnificent. Luis is a... Oh, well... Wow. You are magnificent. So why don't we all stand up and have our opening song and celebrate this magnificence? Are you ready?
Away, away. So much loving in the world. Away, away. So much loving in the world. Living together as one. Under the golden sun, living together as one. Under the golden sun, flow Makani, cleanse my soul. Flow Makani, cleanse my soul.
I'm so into this. Okay. I center right here, right now in the joy that I feel, love that I feel, knowing that that love, that joy is the presence and power of the God within me and the God within each of us, that light and energy and source, whatever we want to call it, it's one thing, it's life, and it's good. And it is moving and living and breathing through each and every one of us in our own unique way. So what I know right now is that we bring that here to this day together, to this community, to this ohana, and we celebrate it and we expand our consciousness even more, even higher and higher and higher, and we give to each other, we receive from each other, and it is a perfect unfoldment. I just know it and I claim it, and I know each life here is blessed and more blessed as we are here together and as we move out into this world. So with that said, what else do I need to say besides, and so it is.
Away, away, so much loving in the world. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Living together as one under the golden sun. Living together as one under the golden sun. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul.
Good morning. My name is Roseanne Jones, and I am a licensed CSL practitioner. I also have the privilege of serving on the Board of Trustees. And what I'm doing now is I'm getting myself and all of you in the room ready for a few moments of meditation. And I have a quote to help you go into meditation if you choose to carry it in. And this is a quote by Richard Bach. You are always free to change your mind and choose a different future or a different past. You are always free to change your mind and choose a different future or a different past. Enjoy your time. You are always free to change your mind and choose a different future or a different past. And breathing into this moment, I know the truth that there is only one spirit that flows in and through each person here. And that spirit is all about love and peace, joy, beauty, abundance, prosperity, vitality, perfect health, completeness, and wholeness. And I know that the power of decision is the freedom that each of us is given to decide how much of all the good things in life do we choose to bring into our lives. So right now and right here, I declare my word to know that peace, love, prosperity, joy, vitality, all good things are here right now, working in and through me, working in and through each person that's sitting here. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful for knowing that it's me who gets to decide. It's each of us who gets to decide. So I've made that decision. And each of you can make that decision also. So, with a grateful heart, I've decided to release my word into that law that always says yes, as we affirm together. And so it is.
Turn to your programs and we'll sing our chant by Karen Drucker. Oh no, Grace. Karen Drucker. Or it was Jack Feller. Sorry. We like them both.
We're all one.
Held in thy hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace.
And so it is. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you, Patrick. Wow. Decisions. So I know I've had a really powerful month with this idea of the power of decision in my life, and I'm knowing that you all did too, and that you maybe had a chance to look at the decisions you were making or not making, and if you like that, that's great, but I trust and know that you have maybe come to a better understanding that you have the ability to change it in every moment. And that's what today is about. Today is about that idea that I can make a new decision, just like Roseanne's Richard Bach. You are always free to change your mind and choose a different future or a different past. I love that idea about a different past. How do we change our past? By changing our view on it, right? And everything changes. I mean, it's just amazing what we can do with the power of our minds. And in this philosophy called the science of mind, that's why it's called the science of mind. And why it's called science is because it is a science. It's a science because we can prove it by changing our mind. And as we use the term spiritual leaders that we are of this center, and I just mentioned Ken Gordon before, but we're not here to tell you what to do. That's one of the biggest things about this philosophy, and why sometimes it is a positive thing, and sometimes it's a thing that kind of makes people go, oh, it's easier to tell somebody, it's easier to have somebody tell me what to do, or it's easier to have somebody save me or whatever, right? But I'm in charge. I'm in charge, and it's the power of my mind. So we don't tell people what to do. We have this quote, it's up there on the bookstore, that says, to learn how to think is to learn how to live. So it's about how you think, not what you think. And so you have the opportunity every single solitary moment to change how you think. Some people think they don't. Like they feel trapped in outside conditions, and they look out and they go, oh, I couldn't possibly change how I'm thinking because look at that. But that is not the truth, because the only way something's going to change is by us changing how we think about it. So I know for myself that, like, for instance, people used to stay in their jobs like forever, right? Like they still do, some people. And then there's some people that say, you know what, I want something different. I'm one of those people. I was always considered kind of what's she going to do next type of person. But I've been in this job for a while because I started it on the journey in 1998, and I knew that is what I wanted to do. But but we don't, I don't know if I see a lot of people changing. They change their mind, and it's okay to change our mind. I have the right to change my mind in every single solitary moment. And if something is not working for me, I have that ability to change my mind. So, with given that, I don't know if you've noticed my hair. But the truth is, I changed my mind, and we have that opportunity. I can do whatever I want. If I want to let my hair grow gray, I can let it grow gray. I don't know how gray it is because I haven't done that in a long time. So if I want to let my hair be orange, I can let it, and it has been orange at times. So my hair was like getting like, something was not right with it. And so I'm like, I need this out of my hair. I need to go back more to my natural color. So I made a decision that I was going to change my hair, right? Now, it's not just enough to sit there and go, I'm going to change my hair. Now, if I was Jesus the Christ, who we believe is one of the greatest metaphysical teachers, he could do things instantaneously. But he had a consciousness that was total and complete surrender to spirit. And that's why he had no division between himself and God, and neither does any great healer, which I'm sure there's many more. But I'm not to that point yet. So I feel, and I don't know, maybe you all are, but I very rarely have instantaneous changes. I change my mind, and I very rarely have an instantaneous demonstration. Sometimes I do, and when it happens, it seems instantaneous. But usually there's a process. So what do we do with our hair? Those women, only your hairdresser knows for sure, right? Well, now you all know about me, so anyway. But we go through a process. We make the decision. We're either going to go to the store and buy some L'Oreal, or we're going to find a hairdresser to do it, or we're going to go through a process, right? It's not going to happen. So when we make a decision, we have to do the same thing. We have to take action. It's called taking action. We have to walk out into the world and go find whatever it is. And what happens is once we make a decision, we are guided and directed. My guiding and directing said, you know what, you need to go to a professional this time because it wasn't working the other way. And so I did. But yeah, we're guided and directed for whatever it is that we need to do for ourselves. And each and every person's different, all right? And then I go to the person, and the process is still taking place because I have to sit there, right? And I have to surrender myself to the process. I have to surrender myself and let myself know that, and it's so funny because when I first called, I said, I'm really scared. And she said to me, don't think that. She's like, you're not going to think that right now. And she's laughing at me. And I said, oh my God, she's SOMing me. SOMing means their science of minding you. Patrick hates it when I do it to him. But she was right. Why would I go into a situation and go, oh my God, I'm so scared. Oh my God. Yeah, like when you make a change in your life, you feel a little, because what is that? That's like, it's uncomfortable. It feels like, I'm doing something different. And when I do something different, it doesn't feel comfortable all the time. And that's okay. It's okay. But sometimes we have to move out of our comfort zone. And this is the powerful thing about our minds. And our minds, I'm talking about our consciousness, not our brains, okay? Our consciousness works our brains. And we can change the way we think because we change our consciousness about something, our awareness about something. So we can do that. So in any moment, I can say, oh, this is going to be a horrible experience, or I can say, no, everything's unfolding perfectly in divine right order. And sometimes it doesn't look like it. Somebody said this yesterday. We had this wonderful workshop with Dr. Peggy here about peace from within. It was amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of us that attended. And we're fortunate because Dr. Peggy's going to be moving here by next year sometime, right? And we'll have her give that workshop again because it was all about it starting in here. And we can do it in any moment. We can change our mind in any single solitary moment. That is the important thing to remember. And we can be peace right now in a world that seems chaotic. We can choose peace. And I'm going to tell you that when we get that peacefulness, and enough of us get it, and it's already happening, I already feel it shifting. And when things shift, that's the quote I was thinking of. What is it? Everything's falling, that Reverend Diane said. Everything's falling. Yeah, everything's falling apart, but it's really falling together. And isn't it true, like, have you ever done something creative, written or painted a picture or whatever, and you're sitting there in your creativity and it's like, it seems like a mess, right? But it's falling together, and eventually if you'll just keep going, it falls together and you have the most beautiful painting at the end, and you have the most beautiful book or whatever it is that you're doing with your artistic endeavor. So it's the same thing here. It's about realizing something different about everything that's happening. Now, does this mean we're putting our heads in a hole and we're saying no, or we're not, that we think that we don't want to look at it? No, we can look at it. We can look at it because we know the truth behind it, that we know that everyone's life is unfolding. Somebody said that in the perfect way. Somebody said that yesterday. It's hard to look at people that are suffering and say, why them? Yeah, why them? Are they being punished by some outside God? We don't believe that. We believe everyone's life is unfolding perfectly. And all those children, which was the hardest thing for me, that were in that building in Mexico that collapsed, they're not dead. And that love is infused in that experience. That's what I have to think. Love is infused in that experience, and all the support and everything they need right here and right now in this moment, their parents, their friends, everything is there for them. That's what I have to do. No, I don't back off and go and start thinking all these horrible thoughts. That's what I have to do. And when each one of us does that, people feel it. They feel it. They feel it because we're all living in one amazing consciousness. So changing your mind sometimes is difficult. It can be. It doesn't have to be. Because you kind of have to let go of everything that you thought before. I think I told you, how I used to think I was stupid because I was brought up that way. It took me a while to get to realize that I was brilliant. It took me a while. And I still fight that thing sometimes because it comes creeping up, because we have this thing called our subconscious, which is what this whole philosophy is about too, is changing the subconscious, which you can look back into psychology, and all these great people that studied the subconscious mind understand that the subconscious runs us. It runs us. So what we do, and this is why spiritual mind treatment is so powerful, because we do it in our own minds. We don't do it to somebody else. We do it in our own minds. And as we know the truth in our own minds, we change the consciousness of the one mind, of whatever the race consciousness is, and whoever's receptive to it picks up on it. They pick up on it, because you can't tell me, like, I always like when a ambulance is passing or something like that, I don't know what divine right, I don't know what's good for those people in that ambulance. Maybe they're wanting to make their transition. Maybe, I don't know. But I do know that divine right action is in place, that healing is in place, whatever that looks like. I get out of the way of what it looks like and just say, divine right action is in place right now. I know peace, I know love, or whatever. And I know that that's felt. I remember this story, I just thought of it right now. Somebody that left their bodies, and they were able to hear everybody's thoughts about them. Oh my God. In this case, In this case, it was not a really good experience for this person, but he could hear it. He could hear what people were saying about him because he was all consciousness then. He was one in the one mind, right? So when I do something powerful or in a positive way, people can feel it. It makes me realize how important it is to think good about others because they can feel it. And I know it's a challenge sometimes for some of us to think, but they can feel it. And there's love, and there's love even when it seems like there isn't love. And so in any moment, we can change our mind. And even when we think it's difficult, we can change our mind. And as that quote said, we can even change our mind about our past and bring a whole new experience to our present by doing that instead of holding on to it. So, it's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. This book, The Power of Decision, there's only one left in the bookstore, and we got some others on order. Everybody needs that book because, Patrick had a copy that it was ripped into shreds because he kept reading it over and over. Because it makes you, it teaches you how to think about decisions. Not what decisions to make, but how to make decisions that prosper you and help make you healthy and help you to have a better life, more love in your life and all that stuff. And I know we all have our own way of doing that, and we all should find our own way of doing that. And for me, it's this teaching because it's so universal. It's not a religion. In fact, Ernest Holmes, he didn't want a religion at all. In fact, I read this thing the other day. He just wanted to go out and talk and let people know that they were powerful and have really, really good lives. But I know the one thing that was important to him, the founder of this Science of Mind and Spirit, was that people used it. It wasn't enough for him for you to come here on Sunday, listen to him talk, or listen to him on the radio or whatever, and then go back to your life. He wanted people to have better lives. And I know that's what I want for myself at all times. I'm never done. I'm a work in progress. And it's great because it's so exciting to be a work in progress because I get to just keep changing and keep making new decisions and spiraling upward. And I believe we're all spiraling upward. No one is ever lost. We're all spiraling upward. So my joy and hope and knowing, not hope, but knowing, is that this month and today that we are all making better decisions for ourselves. And if we like the ones we already made, that we're feeling fine about that, no matter what anybody else says, that we hold to those decisions and we keep reaffirming. And if we need assistance, that we get the assistance in any way that helps us to get that assistance. So I just know that our lives are spiraling upward and that all is well and that we are making a difference on this planet just by our very presence here. So thank you for that, each and every one of you. And so it is. Yeah. Thank you, beautiful.
Lali lali, jagan mataku lali. Lali lali, jagan mataku lali. Akilanda kuti pramandana akilalitan makulali. Lali lali, jagan mataku lali. Jananiki lali, jaga jananiki lali. Jananiki lali, jaga jananiki lali. Kanti chupula tu jaga mula nupi sanjeeviniki lali. Kanti chupula tu jaga mula nupi sanjeeviniki lali. Lali lali, jagan mataku lali. Gauri devi ki lali, swarna gauri ki lali. Karambari bimba tare mangala gauri ki lali. Karambari bimba tare mangala gauri ki lali. Lali lali, jagan mataku lali. Shankari devi ki lali, Shambhavi devi ki lali. Shankara hrudaya nivasini Durga devi ki lali. Shankara hrudaya nivasini Durga devi ki lali. Shakti Kilali. Sakala Chara Chara Shakti Samanvita Shiva Shakti Kilali. Sakala Chara Chara Shakti Samanvita Shiva Shakti Kilali. Lali Lali Jagannatha Gulali Mahalakshmi Kilali Maharagni Kilali Mahalakshmi Kilali Maharagni Kilali Sarva Jagambula Sadhikomi Lalitamma Gulali Sarva Jagambula Sadhikomi Lalitamma Gulali Lali Lali Jagannatha Gulali Ishwari Kilali Parameshwari Kilali Chamundeshwari Rupini Vijayeshwari Kilali Chamundeshwari Rupini Vijayeshwari Kilali Lali Lali Jagannatha Gulali 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 Lali Lali Jagannatha Gulali.
Mahalo. Beautiful. So, is everybody still feeling good? Oh, yeah. I've changed my mind. Isn't that nice? I could even get up here right now, and whatever I have there, I could change my mind and do anything I want. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I do have a quote, though, from my man over there, Raymond Charles Barker. And the reason that my book was so shredded up is because the dog ate it. So, I don't have a dog, but if I did... So this is what our Raymond Charles Barker has in this idea of power of decision. Always we stand between the old and the familiar and the new that is unfamiliar. It takes courage to practice this science and to grasp the new while letting go of the old. Once again, always we stand between the old and the familiar and the new that is unfamiliar. It takes courage to practice this science and to grasp the new while letting go of the old. Have you ever been there? It's kind of like this. Wasn't that a nice move? Very interesting. But I've changed my mind again. Here we go. But here's what, have you ever been in the middle of a decision or made a decision and then you've changed your mind? Now, here's the deal. Sometimes we think that we have to stay with that decision because we made it for many reasons. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to do, I have a wonderful illustration. I have two great stories for you today. And I can call them great because I believe they are. And as long as I believe it, it's the truth. But here's the deal. When I was 19, I've told this story before, but this really illustrates this beautiful idea of changing your mind. When I was 19 years old, very young, I decided to get engaged. Why, I'm not quite sure. But I was 19 and I decided to get engaged because everybody else was doing it. That's called the power of influence. And everyone's getting engaged. I thought, well, I might as well too. I hope she's not watching on live streaming right now. Anyway, So 19 years old, I decided to get married. And so I got the ring and the engagement. And then 5 years later, could have told you something right there. 5 years engagement, we decided to get married. I decided to get engaged. We decided to get married. And then 4 weeks before the dynasty wedding, and it was to that church, I should have just went through with it just to experience that thing down the aisle right there, that white, whatever they call it, that goes down. It was like Julie Andrews' wedding in The Sound of Music. And it was just incredible. But 4 weeks before that, I decided not to do it. I decided not to do it. Yes, there was a lot of oohs, but it was and that decision didn't make a lot of people happy. And it did not make me happy either. 4 weeks, this woman was waiting to walk down the aisle. And I changed my mind. The greatest gift I ever gave her, by the way. And her parents thanked me 10 years later. Took a little bit of resentment to let go of that. And she looked at me and I looked at her and she said, "You must be kidding. We're ready to go. I even converted over to your Catholicism and I don't even like Catholicism." Because you had to do the schooling thing, you know. So what's this point? The point is that I dared to make a new decision. And here's the deal. It hurt a lot of people. It made a lot of people cry. And it hurt our hearts. And I remember that, somebody saying to me, "Why are you so upset? You're the one that decided not to do it." It doesn't work that way. When you hurt somebody else because you believe it, that this is the best thing. And here's the deal, it was the best thing. And I never, in one moment, and if you're watching, which I know you're not, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry that I made the decision. I'm sorry, and this is what I'm really sorry for in decision-making process. I knew years before that I wasn't supposed to marry her. I knew it in our relationship that I wasn't, but we had been in it for so long that we had already decided to be together. But I knew, my heart knew, at least 2 years previous. So if I had decided 2 years previous, would I have taken away the hurt? No. But a lot of pain for the last minute thing, if you've ever been there. A lot of gifts to return, a lot of things to, and somebody has to be the bad guy. And I raised my hand for it. But the real lesson that I learned about my wedding story is that I would have been able, if I had just been honest. But see, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to tell the truth. And what I'm learning as I go into my 30s, yeah, it takes a moment, but as I realize this, that I'm realizing at this stage of my life that I tell the truth. It may not sound good. It may not even feel good at times. But not telling the truth and holding out, because I don't want to hurt your feelings, I don't want to do that. It's like sitting on the fence post. Have you ever done that? God, it's painful. It's annoying, exactly. But there's that idea, and the other day we were talking about this decision. That was a clear decision that I made. And I learned a lot from it. That's the wonderful thing about pain. You always seem to get a lesson out of it. I just know there's an easier way to do it, but I know that you always get a lesson out of it. And I'm thinking of this idea of the fence post. And I wrote about it the other day, and it's uncomfortable. You're on there and you don't want to make a decision the whole time, it's like poking at you and just telling you, make a decision. The only time that we're stuck, has anybody ever felt stuck? The only time that we feel stuck is when we don't make the decision. That's the only time I've ever felt stuck, is when I won't make a decision. I keep wrapping it around, hoping that if I go around it one more scenario, that I'll find the right thing to do. But I want to tell you a little bit about this idea of split. It's kind of, we were talking to someone, it's like, you want pie. Looks good, right? Then the ice cream's over there. Should I have pie or ice cream? Because if you have both, it's a little... But that's why they made a la mode, just to let you know. And I look at life that way. It's like, well, should I have this? Should I have that? Have them both. Smack dab the ice cream right in the middle, your pie, heat it up if you want. Put a cherry on it. Because that's what we get to do. But sitting on the fence post of life causes a lot of pain for a lot of people. And I'm not just talking big decisions like leaving a relationship. I'm talking about the little ones. When we're in conversations with one another and we pleasantly lie to each other. And I'm not talking about that thing back in the 80s where it's like, I'm going to tell you everything I feel. And it's like, the truth is, right now you're bothering me because, it's like, no, we're not talking about that kind of truth. We're talking about when somebody comes up to you and says, how do you feel about something? And you don't tell the truth. Or something's bothering you. Somebody's hurt you. And you just suck it up and then just move on instead of just turning to somebody and saying, this isn't about you. But I'm feeling hurt right now. I got some pain going on. And when you made that comment, I'm just letting you know I felt it in a kind of a new way. And it hurt me. I felt. We have that a great technique and work that I've done. It's like, when you said this, I felt this. Not, you made me feel this and you made me feel, or my ex-fiance, whatever, I made her feel, I ruined her life for a day or two. And actually, we did run into each other 30 years later, and all is well. Just letting you know, since I'm doing. So I have one more illustration. Let's leave the wedding. Let's get away from the wedding. I made the decision, and I actually deserve an applause for being able to. But you know why? Because I did the right thing for me, which ended up, she's been married now for 25, 30 years to a wonderful man who wanted to walk down the aisle, wanted to meet her down that aisle, and that's good. That's good news. So, see ya. Now, the other one was when I was 15, I decided to go to a party, a reception. Oh, back on the wedding theme. But anyway, they were like in their 20s. I was 15. I decided to go to this wedding, and I decided to drink. Yeah. We did those kind of things at 15, especially the town I was raised in. We went there. I did that. And so everybody was partying, and I decided, because it was responsible, to spend the night so that I wouldn't be in the driving. But then I made another decision when somebody was leaving to go on home. And in that moment, somebody was very, very, very drunk. And I decided to get in the car. Nobody pushed me in the car. Nobody did anything. I decided to go in there. So as we were driving home, very fast and very drunk, the car tipped over and started skidding down the road. And Patrick left his body and started to, as Rita was saying, move up. I was moving up, and I was getting pictures and flashes, and I thought, wow, this dying thing's not really that scary. I mean, not like the movies, And I just kept, and I said, wow, I'm leaving. I said, wow, I'm leaving. There was nobody out there telling me, and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. What the hell you get him? There was none of that. It was just so loving and so like, let's go. Let's go. And as I was looking down, there was the car, and there was the people. And then I thought, oh my God, my mother could never handle this. Oh my God, my mom could never handle this. And if you've been around me long enough, you know about the mama boy thing here. She couldn't handle it. And I made a new decision. I made a new one. No one made it for me. No one said, it would be better if you stayed, better if you left. I did. In that moment, I said, I have to return. My mother could not handle this. So my codependence continued. And I spun back in, and there I was, back in my body again. And I don't think I've really ever told that story. It's one that doesn't frighten me, but it seems so natural to me, but it was another opportunity for me to remember that every moment I make the decisions. I do. In with that wonderful thing called spirit moving through me, as me, and this consciousness that we've been talking about. But at the end of the day, I make that decision. Carl Jung says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. And that's not to burst all of the wonderful ideas about fate, but this particular philosophy does not believe in a preordained, I came here to do this, or I came here to leave my body at 15, or whatever it was. We don't believe that because we believe we are always at choice. And then my last little piece here isn't a story, but it's this idea, and I take the risk by this decision to make some people feel uncomfortable when I talk about this. But it's this idea of waiting on spirit for guidance. I've talked about it before. I understand that. I hear a lot of time, do you want to do this or I'm waiting on guidance. I'm waiting. And first of all, my least favorite word in the world is wait. But that doesn't mean that spirit's not there guiding, but here's the news flash. Spirit, source, call it whatever you want, is always guiding. It is always here. It is here right now. There are no strings on me being a puppet for anything. Spirit's guidance is right here, right now, waiting upon me to make a decision. So it can back me, support me, love me, and when I change my mind, it supports me, it loves me, and loves everything around me. And I get the whole idea that we want to wait for guidance. But I am now in a place where I just know that guidance is already there. And sometimes I've used it in the past for procrastination. As long as I'm waiting on anything, for any of you, spirit, my guidance, then I don't have to make a decision. The decision will never be made until you make it. And if you don't make it, we know what happens then. Somebody will make it for you. Somebody will make it for you. Wow, what a powerful month of power of decision. Do you guys like the idea of having this wonderful ability to choose your life in every moment? To leave this month, as we've learned, to leave this idea of being a victim and know that because of decision making doesn't mean that you get out of the pain thing. Sometimes there's pain, it's called cause and effect. If I don't marry you, the effect is that you are going to be hurt and I'm going to be hurt. If I leave my body, which I could have done, that means that you wouldn't know who I am right now. Wow, now that's something right there, right? So all I know is that life is about decision making. It is about love. You are supported not only in this family, but you are always supported by an infinite intelligence that has created everything, and there's no negotiating. Have your pie, have your ice cream, whatever it is. And someone said to me the other day, they said, yeah, but we live in a finite universe, Patrick. You're getting people's, saying they can have anything they want. Well, that is exactly what I'm saying. But what about the people that don't have that opportunity? Well, then go get in the communities and help them realize it. Start here. Start here. Make a decision today that my life is going to unfold in its most perfect way, and I'm going to be the example and the inspiration when your life feels like it sucks. Yes, we can say that here at CSL Kauai. When you think your life sucks, I am going to let you know that right now mine doesn't. Right now mine doesn't. Here's my hand. My life is doing really good right now. Don't be afraid to let your life be good. Don't be afraid when somebody's going, I feel miserable. And you're like, well, yeah, I know, me too, kind of. You do not feel miserable. You do not feel miserable. You feel great. But you don't want to feel miserable because you want them to feel okay. No, we don't have to do that anymore, right? We can feel great, and when we're sad, cry. When we're mad, scream. And then move on. That's how much I love you. Because when you love somebody, you can talk to them that way. Right? You love them. You say, stop it. Stop it. Namaste. Love you. Here we go.
Good. Oh,
What are you guys going to do without the power of decision next month? Keep making decisions.
yeah, keep talking to us and telling us about your decisions. But, yeah.
Next
right?
month is the courageous
Yeah,
heart.
next month we're starting the Courageous Heart. That's in celebration of Halloween. No. Yeah. So let's take a deep breath. Let that all just sink in. And I'm grateful. I am so grateful. And this is my time to show my gratitude and our gratitude. So, and for all of us to show our gratitude. And we have an affirmation in our program, and we know that everything that is given here is given with love and with the consciousness of love for this center and for ourselves especially, and for the knowing that whatever we give here comes back to us multiplied abundantly. And we are always appreciative of it all, and it helps the center move forward.
Before we read that, can I tell you something I'm grateful for? September birthdays.
I
Because
thought you
this-
were going to say me. Did you see my face?
Oh, that's another talk. There we go.
That's so funny.
But you're so, I know you thought
He
I was
always
going to
tells me
have
his
a
grateful.
moment, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's about them now.
Okay.
Who had a September birthday? I just want to know, right? September birthdays, yes. Well, and Dawn, that's right, Kona Dawn is next week. So, but anyway, we're having this birthday Sunday and some cake, and I didn't want to forget that because Michelle whispered that to me, and I promised I'd get it in, and I just did. Back to you, honey. I
Well,
appreciate
back to them.
you.
We were going to turn to our program for our affirmation. All right. Oh, I love it. You can change your mind in any moment. Didn't we just say that? Oh my God. And then it comes up and okay, so divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Well, I am so grateful for all of this flow of energy that has landed in these baskets. And I am so grateful that this continues to help support CSL, the CSL community, the outreach programs, and it also goes on to help in our community, but beyond this island. So mahalo, mahalo, and grateful for all of this good, as we say together. And so it is.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Roseanne.
There we
I
go.
think the kids are coming,
I-
but while we're waiting for them,
Stephanie, you want to just knock on that door
I asked
and?
Jackie to do it.
Oh, did you?
She did it. They're outside. We have to do that. We have to sign somebody.
Well, anyway, here's the deal. Because I can always figure something to say in between. But right as you walked in, we had our wonderful vision for our new center that will be arriving today. But we have our fund out there. It's called our building fund. So if you're wondering what that little change thing is, it's just your change will make the difference. But right now we have some
Some
fancy
very highly
schmancy stuff
costumed
coming
children
on.
coming up here.
Come on in. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, come on, you guys.
Led by Janice. Yay.
Woohoo!
Wow.
There's Itukai.
Hey, Rita. Hi, guys. I need to know some names.
We had an awesome time today celebrating our magnificence, making crowns for ourselves, and creating games and reading books. The kids are going to say their names, and then they might say one thing they enjoyed about being here today.
My name is Everett, and I really like the treasure hunt we just did.
My name is Ituka, and I like the treasure hunt. My name is North. I like when she reads us the books.
My name is Starlin, and I liked making crowns.
My name is Kiole Schumacher, and I learned about what color the wind is.
Let's just take a moment to center on these beautiful kids here. I'm grateful for all of you being here today. I'm grateful. And what I know is that all these children, all the children of the world, are totally and completely supported and loved and having fun, like I can see right now, and that there is a consciousness that is rising across the planet for all children, and that they are safely guarded and guided and directed and having amazing, amazing, noisy, wonderful lives. That I know, and that's a good thing. So we say, and so it is. Woo! I like the background music. Yay. All right, so if you would like to experience a spiritual mind treatment, we have practitioners today. Are you going to be up here? Yes? Roseanne and Malia, and I'm not sure if there's anyone else up here, but please come up and enjoy this service. It's a beautiful thing to be able to go to a practitioner, and they're not in the middle of whatever's happening for you, so they get to know the new experience that you want to have. So if you have that desire, just come up and talk to them. It's totally confidential and a wonderful thing. So that I wanted to say. And then birthdays, I believe that Carla Genet and Luis brought the cake today. Thank you for that. And I think we're going to sing happy birthday.
In honor of your mother, Hilda. Is that Hilda? Let's give it up for Hilda.
And for all the September birthdays, let's just have a happy birthday. Let's get the key right though first. We'll wait for our wonderful
We always have to sing happy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear September.
birthdays and Hilda.
Happy birthday to you.
There we go.
Are we ready?
So are you ready to stand up and let's have our closing song and let's see clearly to make those decisions, shall we?
I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
And I can see clearly now, with gratitude in my heart, for us coming together to have the courage to come together to remember who we are. And that is the I am that I am. And that says it all. And with that gratitude, I am so grateful for Michelle, for all that Michelle does here with the Malama team and everything else, but our announcements and just being that wonderful, loving presence. Thank you. And our team today was Donna Amarosa and Jackie Turner was the Malama Mamas. Give it up for that. There are wonderful people greeting and just making you feel great. And Roseanne, our beautiful licensed practitioner. And we just keep with this flow of gratitude. Isn't it wonderful to ride the magic carpet ride of gratitude? And we ride that with Jonathan back there with our sound and Rob to just connect us to the world globally. And Ron Stover and our whole hospitality team up there. Oh, it's actually Kelly back there. And Jeanette. There they are. They're cutting the cake. That's what we need right here on this. And I just know that Maria Cristina is absolute beautiful angel of light, along with our wonderful, wonderful Luis over here on drums. And Janice and the children. And I won't be forgetting the flowers, never, because they're right behind me knowing that I can be willing to bet you that Arlena and Peter and Karen and that's it. Thank you for the flowers. And so we have Janice and George, who isn't feeling very well, but left his spirit here with the children. And for this wonderful lady that I appreciate so much, knowing that my heart is overflowing with gratitude for this wonderful, wonderful. Now back to me. There's gratitude. There is absolute gratitude for myself too, right? We all said that if I am magnificent, so let's say it again. I am magnificent, and I am grateful for each and every one of you and your beautiful consciousness. And so we just let that be. We let that be with such gratitude, overflowing, knowing that it will never stop flowing. Everything, this abundance, this prosperity, this thing called you, this thing called me. And so we just let that be as together we say, and so it is.
Look all around, nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright